Welcome to the Army Empire Podcast, your go-to podcast for insightful tips on investment strategies, entrepreneurship, and all things money matters. Join Bernard Alerte, your guide on this journey to financial freedom. Each episode will dive into expert advice, practical strategies, and inspiring stories to help you take control of your financial future. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned investor, we've got something for everyone. So get ready to unlock your financial potential and make your money work for you. And now, let's welcome your host, Bernard Alerte.
Hello, hello.
Hi, how you doing? Good evening. So excited to be here.
Yes, good evening. And we are on episode 89.
89, yes.
Today is going to be amazing. Just like all episodes, listen, I hope you're ready. I have my pen and paper ready because we are going to be taking notes as we do every Wednesday now. Wednesdays at 8
Yes.
p.m. Yes, now that we
people are starting to get used to it. Some people are going, what happened?
Yeah, so we moved a day, but you can always catch the replays and find all of the episodes on our YouTube channel. And I love doing the analytics and looking and letting Bernard know, look, this is what people are watching. This is the reels. Let me tell you, the IUL, I think anything that has to do with that, folks really watch those because I think they're really seeing so many different things that are being said.
Yeah.
And they're looking for the right information, and your videos and these episodes are up there. But today, I'm excited for this topic. You sent me the topic, and I'm excited. So let's go ahead and share. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about this actually an episode we were supposed to have like last week, a week before, but we were under the weather. It was terrible last week, so we had to have a replay. So we didn't get a chance to go over it. So we went over it this week. Very excited. We're talking about back to school. Some it's a back to school episode, right? So, yes, absolutely. A lot of states. Yes. Oh my gosh, that noise. I'm so sweat right now. Yeah. So no, we had there's a lot of states right now that kids got back to school. I know our daughter started back last week to school last week. And a lot of states in New York is actually starting. Most states start in August. New York is starting in September.
Yeah.
So they have a little bit of time. So we want to go over back to school episode, and also not just back to school. We're talking about how setting goals. Different. It's like we combine like two episodes in one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Episodes in one at the same time. So we wanted to go over, and the reason that's happening because I think that a lot of parents. Especially the past couple of weeks, I'm listening to, oh my gosh, I gotta get this, my kid. My God, it's so expensive. It's more and different. I'm hearing so many stories where a lot of parents right now are struggling, maybe or kind of nervous, struggling because they have to get a uniform for the kid. They have to get different things, bags. And they're nervous how to do it. And we want to have a specific episode towards that, so people can reference back to a couple of tips that people can actually some things that we've done ourselves, right? That people can take advantage of at the same time. So that's something we want to go over. And also want to go over, a lot of people talk about goal setting, how to, I have certain goals I want to have. How do I do it? So we want to combine two episodes in one with the acronym SMART and be smart, right? And back to school at the same time. So we're going to combine it so people can get great value out of that and get the tools necessary for them to go forward.
Excellent. So this is a back to school episode. We're going to have that scrolling down at the bottom so folks know that this is what this is about. So let's get started.
Let's look at the first one. People think, well, how to set up financial goals for you that you can accomplish. I think sometimes we talk about financial goals. We talk about things goals that you can accomplish and things like that. So people say, well, how do you set them up? I think there's a difference between a goal and a wish, right? And there's even a goal and a wish. So we want to go over specific things like, which is great, which is acronym SMART, right? How to set up financial goals that you can actually accomplish, okay? Because what happens is, number one is, if you set goals, if you set a wish, I want to have $1 million at this time, may not be realistic for you. Make sense? So if something's not realistic, and guess what happens? You're not going to get a chance to go for it because in your mind it's just a wish. and not something you can actually accomplish. So we want to have people set small goals that are smart goals, right? If you're going to set a goals, they're very specific. Number one, they're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're relevant to you, and they're time bound. Okay, so SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Right. So clearly defining each element helps you set the right expectation, help you track progress, right, over a period of time. So does some of the questions that you should be answered when constructing a SMART goal, right? Because that which gets measured gets done. Something that you can measure gets done. If it cannot be measurable, it most likely it's not going to be done. And what happens, so you have to have a measurable way to track to go, make the goal measurable, and that makes a big difference, right? So let's take a look at the first one, S, right?
Right.
SMART. It has to be specific. Specific. Your goal should be focused and well-defined. You can't say, I want to become debt-free. I want to be able to retire. I want to have this. I want to have that. No, if that is not specific, that is general, right? So you have to, for example, what exactly you want to accomplish. You have to say, for example, I want to be debt free. I want to pay off $15,000 in debt. I want to pay off this amount. I want to have $1 million. I want to have $1 million every time. I want to have $500,000 every time. I want to save 15, 20,000 for a down payment. Whatever, it has to be specific. What exactly is it you want to accomplish? Okay. And who needs to be involved to make this happen? See, when you set a goal, who do you need to have involved to make for this to happen? Okay. One thing is important for you. Number one is, see, sometimes, especially as a couple, you need to have both spouses involved to make this specific goal happen. You need to have both spouses involved. So sometimes maybe a husband sets a goal, a wife sets a goal, but if the spouse or the kids are not involved specifically with that goal, there might be a hindrance towards it. Make sense? So, for example, if you say, well, I want to specifically have this amount of money by that time, and your spouse doesn't know that, or your spouse is not involved with that goal, guess what happened? They might do something, or not deliberately, but do something that sets the goal, sets you back. Why? Yes. Because they were not involved. So you have to have, number one, someone involved, the spouse, whoever is important to help involved towards that goal, especially. And if you have an advisor, someone you're working with, they need to be involved with that goal too. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they can help you stay accountable towards that goal.
Right.
Makes sense. So you have to go. So you have to look at if you set a goal, who is involved, who can make this happen faster, or who can maybe delay the goal.
Mm-hmm. Real talk.
Delay the goal. Okay. So have them involved with that. And the last one is, what does success look like? Now, when you achieve it, what does it look like? Mm-hmm. What specifically does the success look like? So if you achieve success, okay, this is what happened. We achieved it. What does it look like? It has to be visual. What does it look like? You may have to write in this. There has to be visual. What does it look like? Right. So those are things that are specific that we gotta make sure we accomplish. Right. The M. Let's look at the M. M has to be measurable. You should be able to track your progress along the way.
Mm-hmm. Tracking
your progress along the way. Number one is, what will tell you that you've achieved your goal? What's some specific that happened that tell you, okay, you've achieved your goals, right? What number will show that you're making progress? So what happens? You have to have a progress. So if you have, let's say, I want to pay off $16,000 in debt, for example, right? You have to say, okay, what is it now? Am I close? Is the debt going down every month? Is the balance going down whatever is specific? You need to have some specific that you're measuring, that you're looking at. You can't just set a goal and do something and you don't measure it. Just like if you have a goal to lose weight, you have to get on a scale once in a while. You have to get on a scale. Yes, okay, right. So if it's to get stronger, for example, are you lifting more than you were before? Maybe not. Are you lifting more? You have to write down, I was lifting this much. Now I'm lifting that much. That makes a big difference, right? Yes. Same thing with your finances. If it's saving, investing money, you have to, okay, is it growing? Is the account growing? Is it growing? It has to be something measurable that you're getting closer, right? That's measurable. That's very important, because that which gets measured gets done. That which gets measured gets done. Okay. If it's measurable, it's not going to get done. Okay. Let's look at the A, right?
Okay, let's go.
A has to be achievable. Your goal should be realistic with the resources you have. Has to be realistic. Okay. For example, unrealistic goals is, okay, I have, let's say if someone's making 50 or 100,000, you're gonna say, well, I'm gonna have I'm gonna accumulate $1 million in 10 years. Is that real? Is that realistic? Is it possible? Yes. Is it realistic? No. Because for you to achieve that, you have to be able to invest for $2,000 to $5,000 a month. Can you invest $2,000 to $5,000 a month? Most likely not. Maybe in 20 years, right? Whatever you say, I want to have $1 million in 20 years. If you're making $50,000 a year, it's going to be very hard to do that. Why is that? Because you have to invest $1,000 a month every single month. Now, is that so? Those are goals have to, because if it's not realistic, you're not gonna go forward and get something. Is your subconscious know whether is gonna realize, it's not realistic. You're saying it, but in your mindset, it's not gonna happen. So it has to be something that's achievable.
Yeah.
Specific, achievable. Now, what challenge might you encounter? You have to look at challenges that might come across the way that can maybe set you back. So you have to be prepared for that. For example, right? Exactly. Now, also, is it possible with your current skills, time, or income? Is it possible? Right? If you say, well, I have $20,000 in debt, I want to get rid of my debt in 3-4 months. It's not. It's yeah. I mean, it's a wish then. Makes sense. So, because it has to be achievable. It has to be something that's realistically achievable. Makes sense. We like one of our mentors, like, it has to be stretchingly realistic.
Nice.
Stretchingly real. Now you stretch a little bit more, is gonna require a little bit extra from you. Makes sense. But guess what happened? It has to be realistic at the same time. Makes sense, which is so important. Right? Hey, and look at the R. R is what? Relevant. It has to be relevant to you. Your goal should be important to you, not to anybody else. Your goal should be important to you. One thing is very, very important. A lot of people set goals that are not important to them. It has to be relevant to you. Sometimes the worst thing you do, you set a goal that maybe your spouse wants and you don't want.
Correct.
Yeah, your spouse says one that, but you don't want, because it has to be relevant. Because if it's relevant to you, number one, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get there. Especially if you get a setback, you're still gonna. It has to be relevant to you. That's why I tell people, especially in our business, I tell people you have to be selfish when you set your goals. It has to be important to you. Like one thing that people do that they say, I'm doing this for my family. I really want to do this for my family, for my kids, or for this or for that. Or I really want to do it. And it's general because it sounds good. But I'm like, are you doing it? Well, then if you're not doing it, then maybe that's not your motivation. That's okay. You still love your family, but maybe that's not your motivation. Find something else that's going to drive you. Because if you're not driven to achieve that goal, then it's not relevant to you. You can't say, I'm doing, because everyone says that. It has to be something that's important, that really means a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, this goal has to matter for you right now, right? And what problem does this goal solve? And if you achieve that goal, what's going to be taken care of? Because what's going to be solved because of this? Something's going to happen. What's going to solve? If you do this, what's going to happen, right? If you want to get rid, like one thing we were driven to do, when we were moving to Florida, we would get a house, and it was a new construction. We had to put a lot of money up front, right? And one thing we wanted to do, we got very, very passionate about paying everything off. Paying all our debt. We got everything, whatever it was, we paid everything off, right? So we were obsessed because it was relevant to us. Make sense? It was important to us. So we made sure that we aggressively saved. We cut down on a lot of things, right? It was great because we had a goal that we wanted to achieve. It made a big difference. I was like, we need to get this done. I know we have, but I want us to even take a step further, right? So we're aggressive, paying everything off. Like we went at zero debt, nothing, because we want to make sure everything we want to go in the right way,
Yes.
right? And we made sure because it was important for us, and we both worked towards that. It was not just me. I felt that way, or her. My wife Eileen felt that way. We were both really together. So we made a decision. We said, okay, every decision, is this going to set our goals back, right? So if we decide to put something, we pay it off right away. Literally. Right? I remember she came to Florida, she got Florida before. She saw like it was a great deal on the furniture, which is the thing that sofa set we had, but they tell you don't get any debt. Here's what happened. She got it done, and guess what? As soon as she's done, I paid it off right away. I didn't even let it get to the statement. I paid it off right away. Okay, so that's something it has to be something that matter to you, right? What problem does it solve by getting that done, right? Which is so important.
Relevant.
It has to be relevant. Don't set goals that's not relevant to you, that's not important to you. Don't set.
If it's relevant to you, then you have passion to make it happen. There's a passion, there's a drive.
It's okay. It's okay to be selfish. Listen, I tell people, listen, they see, for example, they set a goal and it's, I want to take care of my family. Then they see a car and they're very, I want to get that. And you see their eyes, like they think about this car, they see their eyes light up. Well, then that's it. Then that's your goal. That's okay. That's okay. Make that your goal because you're passionate. I see that car that you want. That's okay. Be passionate about it. Make sense? That is something important. So get it done. So that's okay. You still love your family, but that's not gonna drive you to do the extra mile necessary. Make sense? Get it done. See, it has to be time bound. You should be able to track your progress. What is your deadline? A goal has a deadline. A goal has a deadline. If your goal doesn't have a deadline, it's never going to happen. You have to have a deadline. I got to get it done by this time. What is your deadline for make that goal a reality? What number will show that you're making progress? Right? The goal has to have a deadline. Right? In other words, you have to have it. You can't just set a goal. If you say, I just want to have this amount of money. If you don't have a goal, it's not going to happen. You need to have a deadline. We work better with deadlines. Make sense? Because imagine this. Imagine if you went to school and the teacher said, listen, you gotta take the test. Whenever you're ready to take the test, take it. Trust me, most people would never take the test. They would never take the test. Or if they told you, okay, this bill is due, you have to pay this bill, but whenever you can, pay it. Trust me, those will never get paid. There's a reason bills have a deadline because it forces you to what? To do what's necessary to get it done by that time, right? Yes. The reason when the teacher says that the test is this Tuesday, whatever it might be, because if they told you, just take it whenever you're ready, trust me, you wouldn't take the test. Most people would not do that. Makes sense. So you have to have a deadline to accomplish those goals. So what would be a good example to have? Let's look at the next slide, right? The next slide. What's the difference between a vague, unrealistic goal and one that uses a SMART method, right? Not smart, right? I want to decrease my credit card debt. I want to be debt free. That is not a smart goal. But guess what a smart goal is? I want to pay $4,200 in credit card debt by the end of the year by making $350 monthly payments.
There you go. That's it.
That is specific. That's very, very simple. I want to pay off my credit card debt at the end of the year by making $350 monthly payments. Guess what happened? It was specific. It was measurable because you can track it throughout the year if you're closer than that, right? It was relevant, right? It was achievable, right? It was achievable. It was relevant. And at the same time, there was a time frame at the end. At the SMART method, right? Like if you want to have, I want you for $1 million. I already talking about investing $800 a month every single month in a mutual. Something specific makes sense. That's important. That is that is a great way to set up a goal so people can know when they have certain goals, specific things that they need to do.
Yeah, I'm literally like sitting here writing something very specific now that you said that.
Yes, exactly. Now let's talk about like for example, like even with schools, right? Let's one thing happens so much, like, especially if you have multiple kids, because sometimes you have multiple kids, right? You have multiple kids that go into school, and here's what happens. One thing you want to do, you have to plan it out. Very important, right? Number one, you have to start the big categories, right? Before shopping starts, you have to map out the expenses. You have to really write down what is expenses you need to have, right? Like school supplies, notebooks, pen, whatever school supply you need to have, backpacks, lunch gear, right? Clothing and shoes. Sometimes kids, they outgrow the stuff. Sometimes even from 1 month, couple months to another, they outgrow technology and devices, sports, any sports activities that they're gonna get involved in, registration, transportation, all these different things. Everyone's different, dorm apartment. So you have to have a total budget to estimate how much everything's gonna cost. You really have to. You have to really take the time and write everything down, right? How much is all this is gonna cost? You have to have an idea, specific, how much is gonna cost, right? How much you don't go in there, for example, like where you have kids buying clothes. You have to have a budget, how much you want to spend, because otherwise you're gonna end up getting into debt. You're in a bad situation and set you back because of that. So those are big categories that most people have, right? And you have an estimated budget. You write it down, right? So if you look at the next line, then you break down your spending, right? You look at school supplies, right? You look at the estimated cost, how much it is, and actually how much it costs. The estimated, and you, when you go get how much it costs, clothing, and you put everything down, okay? Everything, not each category, right? School clothing and shoes, right? Activity and shoe, technology, all these different things, because small purchases add up quickly during back to school season. So tracking them early makes it easier to keep the bigger picture in view. Okay. Sometimes you might overestimate or underestimate. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so you have to be able to have what the actual costs actually are. Okay. Very, very important, which is step 2. So you write down estimated cost and actual cost. Right? Absolutely. So let's look at the next slide. Now plan before you buy. Now this is where it's important. Before you start buying, you have to plan before you buy. So a little planning now can help reduce impulse spending later. Makes sense. So you take time plan. For example, we use supplies from last year. So for example, is kids, like, we have our daughter. She has a book bag. It was a great book bag. She used it last year. It's not ripped off. It's not ripped up. It's still good. Guess what happened? You can use it again. You don't need to have a different book bag every year. If it's still good, use it again. And guess what's going to happen? If it's good next year, you're going to use it again next year. We don't need to buy. It's not necessary to have a different book bag every single year.
Every single year. Yep.
It's not necessary. And guess what happens? If you have younger brothers and sisters, you pass it on. If you're out of school, you pass it on to you. So if you get a new one, then you pass it on to your younger siblings, whatever it might be. Which is important. The other one is compare prices before shopping. Compare price. Look at price, how much it costs before you go and just get stuff. Because what happens? You get sticker shocks. And okay, let me go. Let's just go. Let's just go get. We have to get stuff for the kids. And you go and then you overspend. You overspend more than you should. So you have to compare prices before shopping. Okay, before shopping, you compare prices, right? And also, one that's very important, you set a spending limit for each category. You set a spending limit. We're not gonna spend more than this. We're not gonna spend more than that. Because if you don't have, like we talk about the smart, if it's not measurable, if you're not something, you have a limit, you're gonna go over. You will go over budget.
For sure.
So you have to set a spending limit for each category. Each category you're gonna get, we're not gonna spend any more. Clothing, we're not gonna spend more than $100,
right?
Or $50. You don't need. If we get the schools, a lot of schools have school uniforms, right? So specific, right? If it's the same good for last year, guess what? You can wear it again. If you can fit, you can wear it again. Last year, I wear clothes from last year. Why can't you? I have clothes I have from last year. Your parents have clothes that they bought like 2 years ago, and they still wear them. I had to shoot 2 3 years. Why can't the kids do the same thing too?
Right.
Why is it they need to have a different every single year? If there's no stains on it, still fits. Why not? Who's gonna know? So you'll be able to save, right? You don't need to get new uniform kids every single, unless they outgrow them and they're different. But if they get to stay, a lot of kids get to an age where it's pretty much they haven't changed much, right? Absolutely. Set a spending for each category, right?
Very good.
Maybe you spread purchases across multiple pay periods. Sometimes you're specific. You get the urgent things now. Maybe you get the important things later on. So you don't have to get everything right now. There's certain things they can do right now, and you can actually spread out so you don't put you in a bad situation. So you might get something this week, 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks out when the school already started. You get a little something also afterwards that they might need. So you don't have to feel the pressure of getting everything right then and there, and it puts you in a bad position. Make sense?
Yeah.
So you can
ladies, moms, we just want to get it all done in one shot, but that's actually harming your financial state for sure.
Yes, and you're stressed out over it, and it causes stress. So maybe like, you know what, when you identify like how much things cost, right? So okay, let's get this now, and let's get the urgent things now. Let's get some things maybe 2 weeks down the line. Make sense? Or maybe later on. So you have to get everything right now, right? Prioritize, like we said, need now items first. Need now items first. Specific items you need right now, prioritize, and get some later, right? Review extracurricular costs before committing. Review, find how much things cost. If you want a kid to do extra karate and these different things, and how much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
Do they really want to do it? Is this something you want them to, or they really, really want to do it themselves? Or is it something they're serious about doing something? Because sometimes, most of the time, their parents want their kids to do something versus the kids want to do something themselves. It's something that's really going to help them. And it's sometimes like people get into, you got dance class and stuff like that, and the kid's not interested in dancing. You're paying a couple $100 a month for it sometimes, right? And it's and you pay a lot of money, because a lot of these things cost a lot of money sometimes. Those extracurricular activities. So review them before committing. And if financially you can't do it, say, yeah, we can't do it right now. It's not we can't do it right now. Make sense? And pro tip, you want to keep all school-related purchases in one folder or note app so it's easier to track your spending as the season gets busy. So keep everything in one folder. Keep one thing so you can actually track exactly what you're spending and be able to have everything right then and there in one. Be able to figure it out.
I love that. Yeah, my husband's loving it. I'm loving that. That is really good, especially that tip for sure.
Absolutely. Keep everything so you build track, right? So step 4, number 1, and check in before school starts. Check in before school starts. Before the first day arrives, take one last look at your spending plan. Did we stay close to your budget? Did we stay close? And your goal is you have to make it a sport that you come as close as possible to the budget. Make it something that's important. Listen, let's make sure we stay on budget this time. And you want to reward yourself, right? Are there any missing items, right? Are upcoming fees already planned for? Because sometimes there's fees that's coming up, and and this and what worked well this year. And patch yourself back. Find things that work well this year, right? And say, you know what, that we did this right this year, and you can repeat it again, because success leaves clues, so you can actually go back and do it again. And you can apply for different things. Make sense? So, those are the tips that that seems like not trivial, but it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference, especially for families, and especially if you have a lot of kids. Sometimes you have multiple kids going to school. I have friends that have 2, 3, 4 kids going to school at the same time, so it's stressful sometimes. And sometimes parents feel pressure to get something. We want to let them know you don't have to be pressured. Be smart about it, right? Set specific goals that's very important. That's smart about it. And also back to school tips. That makes a big difference. Even if you started school already, and you can still apply it, right?
Yeah.
New York, getting started in New York, but you can.
Up north they started a little later.
You start a little bit later, so there's time to. But even if right now, if you start already, and just maybe you haven't gotten everything, don't worry about it. Just get it's not important. You don't have to get everything right there. You don't have to get all the T-shirts, all the school T-shirts for the school if you want. If you can't do it right now. Wait, and you'll be able to get it later on. Makes sense?
So good. And even as you're sharing all of this information, there's a lot of this that we can even use again in the holiday season when it comes to Christmas and getting all the gifts. Don't get them all in one shot,
Exactly.
And then buy for the grandbabies later. and just separating that. I love SMART. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, as in relevant to you, and that there's a timeline that you have,
Yes.
you kind of deadline with all this. This is really good information. I have about 4 pages of notes.
Oh, wow.
I'm so glad that, things are.
You went to school, right?
I got everything ready for my class today. This for me is class. I hope it is for you. I see some numbers, so I know some folks are watching. I hope every time you join us for an episode that this is like a class for you, and that you're able to take just some wisdom with you, and they're actionable. This is the thing about Bernard, is our financial advisor here. He comes on and he gives us actionable steps that we can literally start implementing this week.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
We can implement it now. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate your knowledge. I'm going to go ahead and put on here the email address. If you do not have a financial coach, the email address is scrolling below. That QR code that you see up there is going to take you to the free analysis that they have as well. It takes you straight to their website. So if you're like my husband who's downstairs watching on the TV, on YouTube, I know a few folks watch on YouTube because they get to watch it on TV. Scan that QR code. Take a look at their website, because you may need to have a seat at his amazing office that you see back there, and and get things rolling for your family. This was really good. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much. We're excited. We're looking to have some great things even with the podcast. We have different things we're working on doing next couple of weeks. We realize there's a huge need. Sometimes I have a lot of teammates that mostly speak Spanish, and we want to have a resource also with so we're gonna have probably once a month, we're gonna have like a our teammates, a lot of our leaders that speaks mostly Spanish in Spanish.
Oh, so we're going to have Spanish episodes. So I can share. Okay, so as you're saying this, so I'm thinking I can share those episodes to my friends who only speak Spanish. I haven't introduced them to this podcast because they don't speak English. But now that you're opening that door, I can send it to my tia in Puerto Rico. I can send it to, okay, good.
Yes, awesome. That is going to be good. So we have a lot of mostly Spanish, that they're very bilingual, speak Spanish. So we say, we want to do something because we have a huge, even with our reps right now, it's really growing Spanish. We have a lot of our clients, literally half our clients are mostly Spanish speaking, believe it or not. Yes, within our organization, Spanish speaking. So we want, and it's really growing really fast, especially in the country and the financial industry. The Hispanic community is growing so much. So like the whole concept that people used to say before us, like stereotypical, Spanish people don't save money. Spanish don't do this. They don't do that. That is totally not true. That is not true whatsoever. It is not true. Their education is there. It's people are looking to. Everybody has a different. Really growing and hungry for now. They're looking.
They're hungry for it. I was at an event last week in Fort Worth, and 80% of the people were Latino. I was actually surprised that there was so many Latinos there that almost the entire event had to be translated because there was just so many Latinos. It was like, wow. So yes, I really believe that a lot of the Latin community is hungry to know more about these kind of things. So I'm excited for your Spanish episodes. Yes. So we can do the announcements in Spanish when it comes to miércoles, Wednesday, like the third Wednesday of every month or whatever. You just tell me so that way we can promote it in Spanish.
Absolutely, 100%. Then also we want to do live also. Like I keep you right on us being different places. We'll get together and we'll have a different format. We'll interview process where you and I are actually in the same room doing a podcast. So that's something we're looking to do also, which is so a lot of great things coming up.
I love it. The sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. And listen, with God on our side, we can do all things. I love it. All right, Bernard, you have yourself a good evening. And my friends, stay connected. And we will see you next week, this exact same time. Thanks, Bernard.
See you. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Army Empire podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Join us next week for another exciting edition, and until then, keep building your empire.